I'll tell you when we're starting, right after the 40 seconds, and you can go in, okay? Go ahead, Sal.
We're on, huh? Live. Yeah, baby. What happened to Fran? We lost Fran. But anyway, she'll be back, I'm sure. Maybe she'll go
Sure, she'll be back.
fix her hair at the beauty parlor during the show. But we have a special guest, our first show together, right? This is our very first show. We got a great guy, my good friend, also writer, director. He has his own show as well on the internet. Actor, filmmaker. He's like me. He does it all. Like do it all. So here is brother Michael J. Arborwaite.
Hey, how you doing?
You hear me now?
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My son cut me off. Hi, how are you, Michael?
Michael.
Hi, how you doing?
All right. How you doing? I saw you last time I saw you was at the film festival.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing well.
You remember her, right, Mike, at the Belmore Theater?
Yes, I do.
We took pictures.
Yeah. So, any questions for Mike? Who wants to ask Mike a question about what's happening?
Fran, do you want to start?
Yeah. So, what do you have in the future, project-wise? Music, movies, anything particular? Anything like that we should be looking for?
Yeah, I'm trying to raise some funds. I'm working on my first horror film. I'm just finishing the script on that, so I'm hoping to shoot it sometime in January. That's the plan. So, last year I did a documentary on the zombie houses and all that crazy stuff. And last summer I did a short film with Brother Sal there called Tommy's Got His Gun.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what's his name? This the Irish guy there, my friend.
Yes. Yeah, Donahue.
Donahue.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Donahue.
And Tina,
very nice. Very
Tina
nice.
Krause was also in
yes.
there.
And Tina Krause.
Oh,
who's
yes.
Yeah.
Star-studded movie. Do you have casting put through with this, or are you?
No, I haven't. I'm still looking for actors. I haven't casted yet.
Okay.
So hopefully we're doing that soon. We were trying to make a feature film on that short film that I did with Sal and Brian Donahue. When I met Brian, he's such an interesting character, and he has like that great Boston accent. I said I have to shoot something with you. So we had come up with this Irish mob story that he was perfect for. We just couldn't find the funding for the feature film.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty rough with the funding. A lot of people, trying. There's so many filmmakers out there that are trying with the funding. You put the right thing out there. There are people out there looking to fund really good projects. When you're ready to do any of that, you go. Is he on my page, Sal? Do you know if you invited him on?
You guys are friends? Are you guys friends on Facebook?
Are you friends on my film page?
I might not be because I got recently hacked on Facebook, so I'm trying to rebuild my friend list.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely send me a friend request so I can get you back on my radar.
Yeah, Sal, put him on my film page, because when you're ready to cast, or my page also looks for funding. Gene also does a lot of stuff with the movies and stuff, so you can reach out to Gene also. He's involved with a lot of that.
Yeah, in fact, we're getting funding right now for 3 or 4 projects we're working on, but the funders are also working on 40 or 50 projects.
Yeah.
So it's really tough for them to pick out which project. If they have a really exciting project, they'll put one on the back burner for a little bit that doesn't have a projected date, and then they'll fund the one that they think they should fund.
Right.
Well, between me and Brother Sal, we know a lot of actors, and for years that we've been working on the movies. And I went to film school, but one of the funniest stories is that when I was getting started, I was really good friends with what's his name? I'm blanking. Well, I went to school with Ernie Hudson's sons, so
Oh,
that's always been a good door opener for me.
nice.
And of course, everybody knows Ernie Hudson from the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Right.
That's awesome. So you had a great upbringing, Michael, it seems like.
Yeah, not too bad. It was weird in the '90s, which was really funny. I went to CW Post here in Long Island, and I was actually in the same class with Dina Meyer. She's a big actress. You might remember her from all the insect movies, the Starship Troopers. That was one of her bigger films. But we went to school together at Post, and then I went to school with Ernie's son, so that was always a fun thing. And then I went to Kellenberg, which used to be St. Agnes, but a lot of people don't know this, but Kellenberg Memorial High School is the brother school to Chaminade.
Yes.
And so all the actors that came out of Chaminade, I've known, before Brian Dennehy passed away, I knew him. And Eddie Burns went to Chaminade, so I know Ed Burns as well.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people I speak with that go to Chaminade. Believe it or not, one of my clients' son goes to Chaminade. It's a really great school.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Ernie Hudson. I just finished last night. I watched season 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Family Business. Have you heard of that show?
Oh yeah, The Family Business. Yeah, that's the show that used to be on the BET.
Yeah.
Right, and I know they're doing a season 5, but it's on Netflix. I just started watching it like 2 weeks ago, and it was absolutely excellent. I loved it. I watched 4 seasons. Like every night, I watched 3 or 4 episodes. Last night, I watched the rest of it, the whole thing. And
can you believe Ernie's over 70 years old?
He's amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like he doesn't age.
As well. I mean, I worked with him on Oz for 3 seasons. And we were touching everything. And it's funny because this is what a great actor he is. He's so believable that because even though he's a friend of mine, usually you watch a show and you know the person, so it's not really that believable.
Right.
But he's so amazing in this show that I forgot that I know him so well that I'm like, I was getting crazy watching. Did you guys see it?
Yeah. You know what's funny, Sal? You always talk about Oz. I'm surprised I never met you on the set because I was on the set all the time because I don't know if you know this, but Ernie's son, at the time he went by Ernie Hutton Jr., he played the Muslim Brotherhood, the boxing guy who was in charge of the Brotherhood. That's Ernie's real son.
Oh, wow. See, and I didn't
know
the city.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They could have been on set at different times. When they film, sometimes they'll film different things at different times. But wow.
It's a true. I mean, I started in season 4. That was my first acting job. So I think all the boxing stuff was already done by the time I came on the show.
Yes.
So you were probably there earlier than me. You were probably on the set.
Yeah.
We got to get Ernie Hudson on here. We got you two work it, guys. That would be great.
We'll get him. We'll get somebody.
Yeah.
But Mike,
he's always so busy. I can't believe it. Every time I go to talk to him, he's working on something. He hasn't slowed down. He's in his mid 70s and he's going on strong, just doing stuff.
God bless him.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
And, Mike has. We worked in many projects. Me and Mike. We did what? The Night Never Sleeps.
Mm-hmm. Send No Flowers.
Send No Flowers. Cross the Line.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we do? Yeah, Cross the Line, right? Is that the one?
Yeah. Cross the Line. Tommy got his gun.
Tommy got his gun.
Yeah.
And The Night Never Sleeps.
And then we did you did a small role on of course anytime I have a project I always call Sal, and I got on the set of a film called Forget Paris. I forgot what they changed the name to.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was directed by Martin Scorsese's daughter, Dominica. And it was her first film. It was her debut film, and Sal had a small part in that as well.
You know what I forgot? Most important than all of them. What did I forget? And so did you just now. One of the best Italian films ever made. How to
Grow Fig Tree. Yes, if you can imagine this, when I first met Sal, I was the director. His name was Richie. he approached me about directing an Italian film. Now, I don't speak Italian, but by the end of that movie, I was starting to pick up a little bit of it.
That's what we eat Italian food every day too.
Did he teach you the curse words too? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Richie's grandmother used to make Italian food for everybody every day.
Oh boy, meatballs.
Yeah.
Probably the best craft we ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. And towards the end of the shoot, I remember we were spending time in Richie's grandmother's house,
Yes.
and she only speaks Italian, and she'd asked me to get a pot for her. I just got it. And Rich goes, Mike, how do you understand what she said? I'm like, she told me to get the pot. He goes, she said it in Italian.
That's funny.
I said, it must be my Sicilian blood.
Yes, and Mike also when we did that film, we won. Mike won for what was it, best director at the Belmont Theater. We won. What was
Yeah,
it?
we won for best director and best short film.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And
Congratulations.
Mike was the director.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and then we did a few shows. We went on a few talk shows promoting it for right. We went on a couple of
Yeah.
cable and
We-
stuff.
Michael, do you ever do live theater besides just horror? Do you branch out to anything else? You do live theater, any kind of live horror, or any? Because there's a lot of good live horror, like the Rocky Horror. I remember that on Broadway. And
Mhm.
have you ever
I
done
mean,
anything?
I've never done anything, on Broadway, but back in high school and college, I did a little bit of theater acting, and that's where I had gotten my roots and my love for acting and my love for film stemmed from that, and then that's how I got into the business.
Yeah, yeah. See, a lot of people from high school when they did the live theater branched out into the years. I know that's how I used to do it. I was in a lot of live theater in high school and junior high school. That was my summers, doing Fiddler on the Roof and all. So
Oh,
I branched into that too. I loved it. I love it. And I still do. I did live theater also. I like horror. I've done a lot of things with Nassau County, with the horror Halloween productions, Nassau County, a town of Oyster Bay. So, so I do like horror. And I know a lot of horror people. So if you ever, with the casting, come to me. I got tons of great horror actors, great ones.
Better
Oh,
than
that
me.
sounds nuts.
Better than you. Nobody's better than you.
I find that hard to believe.
Well,
I'm not kidding.
It's funny. Besides Tina Krause, one of the queens of horror films, someone I'm very good friends with is Diane Franklin. She was also on my podcast,
oh yeah.
and she was in that movie Amityville Horror, which a lot of people didn't realize that. What people don't know about Diane is that she actually grew up here on Long Island and lived in Glen Cove up until she was about 14, until she moved to LA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Michael,
So
I actually live a half a mile from the Amityville Horror House, believe it or not.
Now, when
Wow.
you mentioned Diana, Jean was got really ready to say something. Jean,
we interviewed her a couple years ago. She was also in The Last American Virgin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. We had hour-long conversations about that movie because that was a Canadian film movie, and I told her, I said, that movie affected me as a teenager. I don't know if you realize, as funny as that movie is, it hit a lot of bullet points with a lot of people who are just regular guys, like the regular Joe Schmoes who could relate to that movie.
Yeah, that's so true. And what's funny about that movie is the soundtrack, the music was absolutely wonderful. Every
Yeah.
song was
It was funny. They had like 12, 13 songs from the 80s, Blondie and everything. And nobody knew who those groups were. And it's amazing. They got the rights to that music. They also had Sting and I forget who else was on that album. But yeah, we talked about the music. Yeah, it was amazing.
U2 was on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have the vinyl. I have the album on vinyl still.
Do you?
You
Yeah, I
have
have
the movie, you see how the movies and the music go together and how they actually branch out to each other? It's amazing.
Well, the movies make the movies. The songs make the movies.
Yes.
The movies make the songs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's so important. Like Sal always says, to try to make sure that everything complements each other.
Right. Right.
And it's funny, a lot of people don't realize Long Island is the hub of movie making and music. A lot of people don't know this, but U2's first concert in the United States was because of WLIR, and they played in Lido Beach years ago. That was their first concert.
God, I love it. Oh my gosh.
That
I
is so
love
cool.
it.
And,
I'm in New Jersey, by the way. I feel like a left outer, but I'm okay.
Hey,
know-
Jersey's got Bruce Springsteen. He's got good stuff there too.
Now you see, you just mentioned Jersey, and Bruce just like gave me a brainstorm because what Gene said. I mean, for a good example, a perfect example. Remember the movie Eddie and the Cruisers?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, the movie flopped, and then they started playing the music, and
Yep.
the album
There you
made the
go.
movie become
Yep.
a big hit
Yep.
because of the music,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did
They
you know
need
that,
Yeah.
Mike? Did you know that?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That was a mind blower because the movie was just a big flop, and I thought it was a great movie,
You know what
but
it
the
is?
music brought it back.
Music. I've seen movies down, in the past, and I'm like, the movie was like, and then all of a sudden, I was listening to all the songs, and I'm like, you remember that movie, You Got Mail? Remember
Oh
that?
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
All that
With
movie,
Billy-
all
yeah.
that music. I bought the
Billy
soundtrack
Crystal.
because I loved I loved it. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's funny.
another one, great one is the Fast Times at Richmond High. That's a
Oh, I
soundtrack,
love that movie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's the time it's on.
right?
I love it.
You want
We
to talk
gotta
about
do a
how
movie where
music was.
me and Gene, Mike, me got to get next movie. Me and Gene got to do all the music for the movie, and then between the music and the movie, forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Whatever you
Well-
want to do.
Mike
Well,
from South. That's why you got
Saturday
me.
Night Fever had a great soundtrack, but what a lot of people don't know is that the sequel, which a lot of people hated, the music saved the movie, even though the movie flopped.
Yeah.
So
See?
true.
Right.
There's
Frank
a lot of movies
Stallone,
like
I
that.
see
Even
Frank Stallone talk about
Xanadu, same way. Xanadu,
Yeah,
I hated the movie, but now it's like iconic as far as a movie because
Yeah.
Gene Kelly's in it, Olivia Newton-John. They're
Right.
both dead, but the music was good.
Oh,
yeah.
Grease.
It was funny. I was
Recently,
blessed. I met Olivia Newton-John when she was on the last season of Celebrity Apprentice, and she was just a pleasure to talk to. Yeah,
what a sweetheart of a person.
Yeah.
I never heard nothing bad about her ever.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but Sal, you know who I was just talking to? Johnny Russo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he'll probably come on the show for you guys if you talk
Johnny
about The
Russo
Godfather
from
The Godfather.
From the
The
Godfather.
Godfather. Yeah,
Oh, you just
Oh, that
talking
would
to
be
him?
awesome. We're gonna have
yeah.
a real Italian night on that.
He's
one.
got a lot of stories, Michael. We interviewed him a while ago on
Uh,
another show, and I met him at one of the Comic Cons in Parsippany, New Jersey. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I met Johnny, we were giving him an award on Long Island like years ago, and I said, Johnny, I've seen The Godfather 20, 30 times. I have to ask you about the scene in the street with you and James Caan, and he told me that was an absolute real fight, and that's how we got together. That's the way when we started talking because I said it looked too real to me.
Wow.
You know,
That's why
I
it
could
was.
yeah.
I like when
He told
he's biting
he
his
told me that
fingers.
one of the reasons that they got into a fight is because James Caan hated the fact that Johnny Russo wasn't an actor like everybody else, but he was Italian and he had some connections. And if you think about it, everybody, there are a lot of famous Italian actors that could not get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone auditioned for Godfather, and they told him he wasn't Italian enough.
Wow.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
And it's funny that you mentioned that scene when they're fighting and he biting his hand on the fence and all that. And Joe Spinell, which was my very good friend Joe Spinell, was in that scene.
yeah.
Remember?
Okay.
He played Willie Chichi.
Oh,
No, not Willie Chichi.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe Spinell was. That's right, Senator. The family has a lot of buffers. Remember?
Yeah, yeah.
He's in that scene while James Caan is beating up Johnny Russo. Joe Spinell,
Yeah.
like right there, and
And Johnny won't say out loud that he hates Jimmy Caan, but the fact that he wasn't Italian, it like pissed him off, and it always rubbed him the wrong way because here's James Caan who went to acting school, and then you have Johnny Russo who didn't go to acting school, and he's got the third lead in the film.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
See?
yeah,
it's
Sometimes it works like that.
yeah.
That's
So,
great.
Michael,
But
can you tell us some memorable moments on some of the shoots that you did?
Yes, I could talk to you about when I directed Send No Flowers. That was it was a film short that we wanted to make into a feature, but it was, it was spoken in Italian, so we had English subtitles. And one of my favorite scenes is with Brother Sal there. We had to shoot the scene where he finds out his daughter gets pregnant. And, Sal has to tell his wife that he feels like a failure as a father. And Sal actually started crying during the scene, which had me and the director and the writer and everybody else just kind of like sobbing because he just did it so good.
Wow, Sal.
Thank you. Yes, and
Good to
that
you,
was
Sal.
right on the spot. I remember, if you remember, it wasn't really in the script. And I said to Mike, Mike, any Italian father who just beat the heck out of his daughter would not be able to deal with it. He would go into a room and cry all alone. So I said to Mike, Mike, let's try something. I got an idea. Mike said, let's go for it. So Vicenza had no idea what I was going to do. Nobody knew what I was going to do. And I started filming, right? And I sat down and thought of things that would make me cry. And twice I cried. First, I showed them what I was going to do. Oh, did I just do it one shot, Mike? I don't remember now.
No, well, we let you go, and we didn't even know when we didn't know when to call cut because everything was so good. Richie's looking at me like, "Do you want to cut?" I said, "No, let's keep going." And you have to imagine the scene where he just had this emotional fight with his daughter, and then Sal's crying, and then Vincenza, who is the other actress who's speaking Italian, she's trying to console him in Italian, and Sal's just crying. And the scene was only supposed to be 2 minutes long, and it ended up being like 4 minutes long because we didn't want to cut because it was like film gold.
Yeah,
And
because
you know
it was authentic.
When you finally did say cut, and I looked up, and I swear this is the truth, everybody was like this.
Yeah.
They were all looking at me. Everybody. I mean, Anthony Palladino, Chris Bechinelli, Vicenza. Everybody was like looking at me like.
They're like, where did it come from?
And even when they played it at the Belmore Theater, the people I saw, when I came out, they said, "You made me cry." They said I made me cry because I was really crying. I didn't act. I really let myself get, And then I remember, I'll never forget, Mike said to me right after the cut, he said, "I've never seen any actor in my life turn it on and off like you just did," which I really I wasn't thinking it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have to take 5-10 minutes for Sal to console himself, and he was just like, "How was that?" I'm just like, "How was that?"
Yeah, and I never went to acting school or none of that. I just naturally say to myself, if you want to cry, just think of some things that make you really, really sad. And I lost it.
That's the best way. I always say, acting school is great for a lot of people, but if some people just got it and you don't need that, it's like you could switch it on and off. And if you're good like that without that acting ability, like going to school, taking courses, I've seen a lot of people that had no acting at all and they blew it away like you did. It's just that you put your mindset into it.
I think it's a natural thing, very natural. Joe Spinell always said to me, the best actors are just natural.
Yes.
Just memorize your lines and turn it into you, Just make it yourself. Wait, it's true. I'm not saying that acting school is a bad thing, but you do
not either. No, just saying there's some people that just have it,
Yeah. I mean, acting school is probably good, but I've noticed a lot of actors that do go to acting school get very dramatic.
Yeah.
The line will be like, "Hey there. Oh, it's you." It says, "Hey, it's you. What's happening?" Like, just be yourself. They'll be like, "Oh my goodness, have a seat." It's like you could tell it's like taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always pride myself on Sal. He's been able to put himself in crazy situations that would drive most actors crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We did this film called The Night Never Sleeps, and you can catch it on Tubi and one of the other free streaming shows. But if you get a chance, look up The Night Never Sleeps on Tubi. You'll see Sal plays a bartender. He's behind bar, and he witnesses a woman getting raped. But he doesn't say anything because he knows that the restaurant's owned by gangsters. Later on, he gets interrogated by me. I'm playing a police officer, and in that scene too, he kind of like I don't know anything. I don't want to talk. But his fear seems so real. You know, when I was interrogating him, I was like, when they yelled cut, I was like, "You okay?"
Oh, that's so funny.
That's an interesting part too, Michael, when you say that, and Sal, you probably feel it too. When you get that fear, and I see it in people, it gets in your eyebrows, your whole facial expressions,
Yeah.
your body, your tenses, and all that, and it comes out in the film.
Yeah.
It's just like when I
Yeah.
tell people when they do shows, radio shows or something, when they're with us, if you smile, it doesn't matter. People don't have to see you smile, but they can hear you smile through the
Right.
radio. It doesn't make sense, but it does.
Right. You're right. You're
It
right.
does. And
Yeah.
it's like a text message. You know, that's why text messages sometimes you could be, you know, joke around, but on the other side, the person takes it in a different way.
Yeah.
That's why any text message, I always end it with, yeah, baby, and like a funny, happy face. Because
the emotions play a big part with what we're saying and how we say it.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's why I always like to let them know I'm joking around, you know. So other people will say, like, send me text messages like and say like some nasty thing, and I'm like, hey, because they didn't put a happy face or a little joke laughing out loud thing to go with it. So that's why I always do a yeah, baby, and signs and laughing out loud thing, you know. But it's true.
It's like I a lot of times I don't even need to give Sal a script. I just tell him to go. He knows what I want, and he just acts it out. One of the things that upset me, I produced the film called Send No Flowers. I didn't get to direct that one, but I had this whole scene with him and Sean Young that was really good, and it never made it onto the screen, which upset me because it was a good scene. And then he did the same thing when we were shooting the short. Tommy's Got His Gun. I didn't give Sal a script. I just told Sal what the movie was about a little bit and what he needed to do, and he just belted it out. He acted it right out. We shot the whole thing in one day.
See?
We got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were done by 5 o'clock at night.
See,
You know, you just reminded me of something. There's another project we did. When you just said we shot it all in one day, I just remembered the bistro.
Oh yes, the bistro. Yes,
I forgot we did that too.
Yeah, so I'd come up with this idea called the Bistro, which was a comedy short that I wanted to turn into a television show, and if Sal was in it, and also Lou Martini Jr., who is a really good actor. Sal had gotten me his name, and a lot of people don't know this, but Lou was also in The Godfather as a child. He was in the wedding scene.
Remember
So, but Lou, if anything that's shot in New York, whether it's Law and Order or they had that show Life or anything, you could see Lou. He's all over New York television shows. That's his bread and butter. But I mean, they had such a great scene together, and I ended up having to cut a lot of it out. But there's this great scene where Sal is talking to two girls, and he's kind of hitting on them. And it's such a funny scene because at first they're blowing him off, but he's so charismatic that they end up liking him.
And plus, not only that, I'm adorable. I mean, I'm not conceited.
Really? No.
Charismatic and cute. Come on. I mean,
You got it all.
I'm only kidding.
But
yes, that was a good scene with Lisa and what was it? Cindy and Lisa, right?
Yeah, Cindy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then with Johnny Solo, we did the scene outside with the
Yeah.
oh yeah, with the fish.
Yeah.
And he did that. He didn't even tell me. He had this big giant fish with a towel on it, and it stunk.
A real?
And Johnny
A
Solo,
real
he
fish.
didn't even say
Yeah.
it to it. He takes the towel and puts it over my head, and I got this towel of fish smell on my face. I said, brother, don't do that again because we have to do different angles now. I can't have you do that. Did you remember he did that? Just joking around?
Yeah.
Right on my face, on my head.
Yuck.
So the funny thing about that scene that just was comic gold was I had created this restaurant where they wanted to serve like a giant lobster, which is unheard of, but the lobster was the size of a person, a small child, and they had to buy it off the black market. So the people in this restaurant meet Sal and Johnny Solo in the parking lot to buy all this black market food so they could serve it in their restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
It's on YouTube. I gotta send it to you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely send
The
it to.
trailer's on YouTube. The show's on YouTube.
Oh, that's so funny.
Everybody's gonna have to check it
Sal,
out.
has Sal ever sang on anything for you, like on any of your movies? Did he do anything? Because I know he
He
sang in the town.
he didn't sing live. I wanted to use some of his music, and it just in the different projects that I had, but it never worked out where I could keep it on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
I was trying,
yeah.
as you were talking about it, I was trying to think. I said, do I have any of my stuff in your project? I don't remember. No.
Yeah,
think
we
so,
want.
right?
I wanted to use it, but yeah, it didn't work out.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause I know he's Italian.
but
He sings
yeah,
Italian, sang it in one of the movies. That's why I was asking.
Oh yeah, no, I got stuff, a lot of different things out there in different movies, but that's why I was confused. I said, is there anything that you or I don't know if Fred ever used anything? I know I in Coalition, I have 2 Sicilian songs, and a couple of horror movies. Some of my rock and roll songs, like "Can't Love Without You," and
Oh, my favorite.
that movie, The Tenement, Glenn Baisley. I did the music for like the opening of the DVD. You know, the before you press play, the well, that's,
DVD for you.
you want to laugh? I met Sal before I met Sal. I didn't even know there's a video going around where me and my brother, we had gone to that convention you were talking about in New Jersey, and this was like 2007, 2006, and we're walking around with the camera getting footage during that. I forget what show that was, but it had the actor from Chucky, and it had a couple of different actors. But as I'm walking through the crowd trying to find the people we're going to interview, who shows up in the background? It's Brother Sal, which I didn't even know, but you could pick him out of a crowd.
Yeah.
I see that too. I remember I found that on YouTube, and I'm saying, I sent it to Mike. I said, I seen something going on, and I see Mike. No, yeah, what? Right, it was your brother's project.
Yeah,
your brother.
Yeah,
did that?
my brother was pitching a show called My Music Video,
Right.
and we had gone to the show to interview the actors because they had seen their Rock, and the actor who played Jimmy Olsen in Superman, and the actor who played Chucky, and so we had gone to interview them. But in the background, there's Brother Sal walking around.
Sal's walking
I'm
around
everywhere, you know.
You're everywhere,
Yeah.
Sal.
That's awesome.
Michael, I know Sal from Queens. We're friends from way back before Sal was anything but Sal. That's how long I know Sal.
See, I've known Sal a while too, but I don't know. I don't remember how I met Sal. I think it was on Facebook, but somehow we're friends, right, Sal?
Yeah, absolutely. And me and you've been trying to do a show forever, but we always would talk about it, and then we would just forget about doing it. And I'm talking about
made it happen.
Quite a few people wanted to do this.
Right.
I said, I got to get these two together because he said you were supposed to do it. Then you said you were supposed to do it. I said, look, this has got to stop. We got to get these two goombas here together. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And now you're back on. Now look at you.
Yeah, I love it. I'm very excited about this because it feels like, we're doing stuff again.
Yeah.
And Brother Mike, you still doing your show?
Yes, still doing it. Yeah, so I started a podcast in 2020 because Hollywood shut down and nobody was working. But then I realized I know all these actors and all these directors and producers, and no one's working. So I said, but I know they're in the business, but I don't know their origin story. So I decided, I'll interview my friends and see how far I get and see how long the show will last. But they have a lot of interesting stories. Let's see if I can keep it going. So I started this audio podcast called The Quidditas Factor. Now, Quidditas, what's that? That's a weird word. It's a Latin word which means the whatness or essence of a thing or person, which I picked up in Catholic school because I went to Catholic school and that our masses were in Latin. So it was funny. Like a lot of people, we had the clicker. And people ask me, why do you have a clicker? I said, because most people are not fluent in Latin, but we had to know when to stand up and when to sit down. And growing up, we found out that the little cap on the bottle of iced tea made the same sound. So we would click it and make people stand up and sit down during mass. So the priest got mad at us for that. But I'd gone to a church called St. Martha's where they did their masses still in Italian. But the reason why I mentioned that is that I used the word Quinnitas, and I started interviewing all the people, and Sal was a guest on my show. But I've interviewed Ernie Hudson appeared on my show, and Johnny Russo was on the show, and Sean Young came on the show. She was my 100th episode, so I'm like about 150 episodes in. It's been 2 years, and I thought I'd run out of people, but I keep finding interesting people to interview and find out how they got their start in Hollywood, and what keeps them going.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so definitely get your podcast on my page too. I got Jeans on my page.
Yeah, put them on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hook up definitely my page. It'll be great. I'll put it on there, and you get a big audience because I have a lot of
Okay,
people watching.
yeah.
I'm just gonna get up for 1 second and get my charger. My thing just showed up low battery. I don't want to disappear on you.
Sal's,
Get
Sal's
my
phone,
charger.
Technology.
Sal's phone is always dead. Every time I talk, I gotta go now. My phone's dead.
Yeah, because I got so many people talking to me all day. Everybody wants to hang out with the mayor of rock and roll.
There you go.
The mayor, Michael. So Michael, so now, like I said, so you got things in the projects happening soon, or you're looking into different things, like you said, funding and so on.
Mhm.
So, no, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that. I like your background. You got like a diversity of all different things and venues, and so many people. You've done so much. I love that you went to Catholic school too. That's amazing. So now you got a very interesting background. I like it. Look at
Yeah,
this.
it's
Come with me, my love. Where can I plug in? I gotta try to find a place to plug in. Look,
Plug in your nose.
do I have to go? I could go. No, I could go. I could go. Maybe I'll go in the kitchen. Where should I go?
Salad.
This is fun. Look,
It's
again,
okay.
everybody can see what my apartment looks like.
That's nice.
Just giving us a tour.
Hey, the Coca-Cola kitchen.
Sure.
See?
I like that.
That's my Coca-Cola kitchen. When was the last time you saw one of these phones on the wall? Look.
Oh wow, you got a Coke phone.
yeah. Wow.
Hello,
Does it still have the
hello,
cord?
Mike, are you there? Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna plug in somewhere over here.
So,
I'm
Michael,
dating myself.
no, Michael, tell me more about your podcast, because I would love to maybe put it on our radio station of 28, 29 years.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. So my podcast is called the Quinnitas Factor because I'm trying to find out who the person really is, and I've gotten some interesting guests. One of my first guests was someone named Kevin Shinnick, who wrote who's one of the writers of Mad TV. But I'd met him in college, and I didn't realize that he had done so well. So it was funny that we stayed friends over the years. He's also a really excellent writer. He's written some Star Wars books, and he had some great advice about this crazy business that we call show business. It's funny. He started out as an actor. He never wanted to write. And his wife's a writer, and she writes for a bunch of different television shows. And people kept asking him, "Hey, you should write. You should write." And he kept blowing it off. He goes, "No, I'm an actor." I went. Funny enough, Kevin went to the Tony Randall School of Acting and was friends with Tony Randall, and Tony Randall was actually in one of his last films. So before he passed away, but
Randall School of Acting. That's something I found out tonight. Wow.
yeah.
I freaking love Tony Randall. Tony Randall, The Odd Couple. I mean, Jack Klugman. Oh my God, you're talking about so many characters that were put in that show. So many different people got their start in that show before they moved on to other shows. Just an amazing, amazing show. Neil Simon.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure Gene, back in the 60s, I remember every Friday night it would be the Brady Bunch, the Partridge Family, the Odd Couple, Love American Style.
Oh, Love American
Style. I would go home every Friday night and wait.
Sal, don't date us. Don't date us. I want people to know how old we are.
and you know the song?
I'll be 64 on November 1st.
Right. And you know the song they used to use for the promotion? You're Still the One by New Orleans.
Oh, really? Oh,
You're Still the One, ABC. You're Still the One, because it was a big network. It beat NBC, CBS, and everybody. With that lineup, it destroyed everybody.
You're
for
right.
years.
You're right. Wow.
Sal and I have been working together for over 10 years. What a lot of people don't know is that they started calling Long Island Hollywood East, And that's because we built two huge movie studios here on Long Island that people don't even know about. One is called Gold Coast Studios, and the other one's called Grumman Studios, which is what used to be
Oh,
part of
yeah.
Grumman. And what people don't realize is that at Grumman Studios, there is a full-size set of New York Times in the parking lot, and you walk back there and you're in the city.
Yes.
But that's where they shot Spider-Man 2. And I was part of a press conference there a couple of years ago, and that's where I met Burt Young, God rest his soul. And he's always, a lot of people don't remember him except for in Rocky, but he's one of these actors who, no matter what he was doing, he would talk to everybody. He's a very friendly guy, and he was just a pleasure to know.
Yeah, Kevin Can Wait was filmed there too.
Yeah,
Kevin James and I saw
Kevin James. Yeah,
filmed over there in Grumman's.
Burt Young was around for a long time. I mean, I seen him in movies, but you see people in the movies, and like you said, Rocky was what really made Burt Young stand out more and more.
Yeah.
But he was in movies like Across 110th Street in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
Across 110th Street?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Movie?
Yeah.
He was one of the remember when they robbed the three cops, which they were dressed like cops, and they rip off the mob guys. And
I remember that.
In the beginning, Burt Young was one of the guys in the beginning.
I sure remember that. I remember that movie.
Oh, it's like I have the DVD right behind me. See all the DVDs behind?
I knew the DVD king.
Check it out. Look, they're right behind me. There goes the DVD.
Ay.
Yeah, and Elvis is up there too. All my movies are like the first row. There's all movies I'm in the first row. Whether I'm a featured extra, whether I'm a main character, they're all up there. I have like every DVD of anything I've ever done, even if you see me for 2 seconds.
See?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I like collecting this stuff. It's just like I worked at it,
Oh, sorry, you want to laugh? I accidentally watched the movie Knock Knock because I thought you were in it, and then I ended up watching the wrong version with Keanu Reeves.
With the two girls?
Yeah.
Well, whatever, you know what? Because Keanu Reeves, of course, whenever you put in Knock Knock, that's the first one that shows up. But if to put in the horror movie, because Knock Knock 2007, because that's the horror, But whatever anybody puts in Knock Knock, Keanu Reeves is the first movie that shows up because it's more popular. And Keanu Reeves, I mean, he's the man.
Yeah. Well, you said, but no, Sal Sergio, that's the guy you should be looking at.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I've been wanting to do things. There's so many things that I would like to do, but then it's like I hate waking up early in the morning. I like to sleep till 12. Even when we did the project with Brian, Tommy Get Your Gun. When you told
Tommy Get Your Gun. I told Sal you had to be on set at 6 a.m. He was like, "No, why so early?" I'm like, "That's the time you got to be there." We could only get that bar for a couple hours, before they opened.
Yeah,
and we had to start early, and we had to be done before they opened.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about movies. I mean, it's like I'd say 90% of the time, movies are always early calls.
Oh, yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Every once in a blue moon, you'll get a movie where it's all night. Like when I did the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, that was great because I did 15 days on that, but it was always at night till overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight. We were in the subways from I get there 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah.
But other like when I did recently The Irishman, it was like I had to meet the bus at 3:45 a.m.
3 in the morning. I heard. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
That was
I was
crazy.
like, I'm not gonna even be able to sleep, so I didn't even go to sleep. I would just stay up and go and feel lousy all day, and then it's like then the holding area is 3-flight walk up.
I heard.
I have no energy. I can't even stand up at this point because I didn't even sleep. Back to holding. So I can't do this no more.
Yeah. So I will tell you the most famous line on set is "Hurry up and wait." Hurry up and wait.
Wait.
Hurry up and wait, because they'll make you get on set really early. And I can't tell you. I mean, Sal, when we worked on Domenica's film, we sat in holding for 4 hours before they even decided to put us on film. Like they had to come and tell us to be quiet because Sal was entertaining everybody in holding and making everybody laugh. and they were shooting in the next room, and they're like, "Shh, you gotta be quiet."
Yes, I remember that. I was
Yeah,
talking to Judy and Tracy and all those people over there joking around. I'm like one of those guys. When I'm in the crowd, I become the entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's expected too. Like everybody's saying, "Well, now Sal's not funny. How come he's not making us laugh?" It was like that too. Robin Williams. He felt like he always had to entertain people. So a lot of times he would stay home because he needed to like not have that feeling.
Right.
yeah.
Because
But it's funny. It wasn't even that early, Sal. The call time for us was 8 a.m., but we sat in that restaurant from 8 a.m. till about 3 o'clock, and
Wow.
we didn't start shooting until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So we were sitting in they were shooting in the kitchen, and they had us in one of the dining rooms, and we were just talking and laughing the whole time, and they were like, "You got to be quiet."
yeah. They kept coming in to tell us to be quiet. And that's how it is all the time on the set, they tell you to be quiet.
Yeah.
But you're in a crowd of people. You're sitting in the room with 25, 30 people, and it's like, everybody just starts talking. It's like, how do you be quiet,
Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you just can't.
But you know what's funny about that shoot was I didn't when I got onto the set I didn't know that many people, but of course Sal knows everybody. So how does Sal connect himself to Dominica Scorsese? He starts talking about the China Club. Why did you tell that story, Sal?
Oh, what they say? I don't remember what I was telling the Dominica about the China Club. What was it?
You were saying that you met everybody she knows at the China Club, and you started talking about the China Club, and Sal used to go to the China Club and used to close it down because he'd be there all night.
Oh, yeah.
But that was like the connection with the China Club.
Well, that's it, because I know so many people, and I hung out in China Club from 1985 to 1995, 10 years, and I've never missed a night. It's like even with 104 fever, I had to be there, sitting there sick on the couch, and I would go. But I always felt like I can't miss something. So all those years of doing that, I became friends with everybody. I mean, I knew everybody. So anywhere I go, people know people I know. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
you could be. If I met Paul McCartney tomorrow, I could tell him I'm good friends with Julian Lennon, and that'll make me bond much quicker.
Right.
So with Dominica, I could tell her, I worked with I hung out with Christopher Walken, and I hung out people that she would know or her father worked with or whatever. So it's easy. I even brought her some DVDs at the party of movies I never saw that her father was involved in, and she didn't even know it. And I made her a couple of DVDs and brought her to the rap party.
You introduced her, right? Sal, Dominica, she was on my page, Dominica, right?
No, that's Francesca. That's the other daughter.
It's the same name as me. That's right.
Yeah, Francesca. That's the youngest one, right?
Yeah, from a different marriage. Yeah, Francesca. She was in that movie too, Francesca.
She was. Right, the kid.
Yeah.
Yes. When they're talking where were they? In the hospital? They were talking.
Yeah.
Where it was. But yeah, she's in that movie with that Dominica.
Directed, yeah.
And just recently we were talking. I don't know where Francesca went, but we were chatting, and we're friends on Facebook. And I got her on Fran's page, and I told her she wanted to sell posters, her dad's posters with the signature. And just recently, she disappeared off of Facebook. Maybe people.
I haven't seen her on. You're right.
She disappeared. I went to go write her, and it said she's not on. So she might. I don't know what she did, but I was trying to help her. She wanted to sell posters of her father's movies signed.
Yeah.
Look at Gene taking this all in. Gene, you got any questions for Brother Mike?
Yeah, Michael, with some of the things that you've done, on some of the podcasts, do you have any special things from the podcast?
Yeah, well, it's funny. A lot of people don't realize this, but I became really good friends with Sean Young. And, Sean Young is, she's the actress from Blade Runner. She was in Wall Street. And a couple of years after that, she'd gotten into trouble because she was supposed to be in Batman. So it's a sore topic with her, but she was supposed to play Kim Basinger's part, but
Oh,
she got into a riding accident. She fell off a horse. She broke her collarbone. She
Mm.
could not do the movie, and so they had to recast her. And so, what really happened to her, and what she doesn't like to talk about, is that she thought, I was supposed to be in the first movie. I deserved to be in the second movie. So when Batman was a big, huge hit, and she wasn't part of it, she's like, "Well, I need to be in the second movie." So she was advocating for herself, just like Robert De Niro and all the male actors during that time were advocating for themselves. She wanted to play Catwoman, so she got dressed up in costume, and she wanted to show everybody that she could play Catwoman. Everyone took her as being crazy. Robert De Niro gains 50 pounds for Raging Bull. That's no problem, but when she gets dressed up in a cat costume, then she's crazy.
Oh,
So between that and she got into a really bad movie with what's his name? I'm blanking on his name, but he talked nothing but bad stuff about her. She That's when she got shunned in Hollywood for a little while. So when I connected with her when we did Send No Flowers, I was a little worried because I didn't know her, and all I knew was that like Sean Young went crazy back in the '90s, and no one knew why. And it's funny how when you hear the real story, you have to take. It's funny how you have to take things at face value and listen to the full story before you make an opinion. And it's so funny because Sal will tell you as an actor, people have an opinion about him before they even meet him.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
So
remember when
yeah,
that was going on with Sean Young. Just because she
yeah,
showed up, everybody said she was crazy. I remember when we did the movie, and I got some nice pictures of me and Sean Young, and me and her became friends. Because I had never met her before, even though I know everybody in the world, I had never met Sean Young. I met her because of Mike on this movie, Send No Flowers, and
yeah.
we exchanged numbers and all that stuff. And we had some nice pictures. And every time I would put them up, a few people would say, "Sal, I heard she's crazy. Be careful." "Oh, I heard she's crazy." Not crazy, sweetheart.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
she was trying to she wanted that part, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and like Mike said, people do things, they'll show up in character or whatever. Because like me, I just wherever I auditioned, I just went by myself. I auditioned for mob movies. I remember I went to what's that show called? Oh, Jesus Christ! But see, right now I'm getting stoned.
You
What
get
was that? Anyway, whatever. I went to Ellen Lewis. You know Ellen Lewis? She's a big casting director. She casted Goodfellas and Casino. Ellen Lewis. I don't know if you guys know her name.
mhm.
She casted big movies. And they were doing that new show. What the heck is it called on HBO? I knew about it before anybody else.
Are you
I can't
talking
remember
about Vinyl?
the show, huh?
Vinyl?
No, before Vinyl, that other one that they looked like the 1920s, and I almost everybody.
The one with Boardwalk Empire.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah,
you remember? I couldn't think. I worked at a restaurant and I knew a woman who was very good friends with Martin Scorsese, and she says they're going to be doing a new show and they need a lot of guys. It's called Martin, and she gave me a copy of the script. Nobody even knew about it. I did. So I said, I went to Ellen Lewis's office in Manhattan, and she actually got mad at me for showing up there because nobody knew about this show except for she. How the hell you know about the show? How do you have the script? I said, I have a friend of mine who knows Martin Scorsese. He gave it to her. And she got annoyed with me because I showed up. She goes, "Well, this is the way you show up here with your hair long." I said, "Well," she goes, "Anybody I'm casting has to have short hair." I said, "Well, I'll cut it if you want." Well, I said, "When you put it back, I have a whole different image." And she just wasn't having it. She just didn't like the idea that I showed up at her office. So everybody I know is on that show except for me. Bob
uh,
Hesse, I got Bob Hesse. I told him about it. I was on the phone with Robert Hesse. I told him, Rob, they're doing this new show. I just heard about it. Nobody else knows about it. He ended up on the show. My friend William Forsythe ended up on the show. Louis Veneri, all of them. And me, they wouldn't use me because I did, I guess, what Sean Young did. Sean
yeah.
Young showing up at the place in I didn't show up in character. I just showed up when I was not allowed to be. Show up.
Oh, he just walked.
But sometimes I'm like that. I mean, I was used to that with the music scene before I got into acting. I would go to record companies without even being invited and just get in there somehow. And I'd end up sitting with the president of Polygram Records. And he said, he walked into his office. I'm sitting at his desk, sitting there waiting for him. He goes, who are you? I said, I'm Sal Searcher from Band Crystallized. He goes, how'd you get in here? I said, I just came in. Here's my tape, it's that type of thing. So I used to do that all the time. I guess, I'm not intimidated by people. That's what I just figure, hey, we're all human. So you have this position and I want to do something with you, but let me just show up there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like that,
Yeah.
And Ellen Lewis was like, who is this guy? Where'd you come from? And I'm talking to her in the elevator. We're going downstairs and I'm telling her this and this and that. And so I never ended up on Boardwalk Empire because of that. And everyone I know is on that show. Right? Did you guys watch it?
Yeah.
I've
What's
never
his name? What's his name? Mr. Pink. What's his real name? I'm blanking on his name right now. He was the main actor in Broadwalk Empire. What is his name? I'm
Certainly.
blanking.
I can't think either.
And Reservoir Dogs. He played Mr. Pink. What's the actor's name? Yeah. What's his name?
I can't think of it
Tip
either.
of my tongue.
How about you, Gene? Can you think of Reservoir Dogs actors?
I'm trying to think, but we're almost done, guys. We got to leave in a couple minutes.
Oh,
Hate to say it, but
It
tonight's
goes so
show's going to be
fast. Does it
ending.
go fast?
It does go fast. Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
send me an email. I'm good friends with Johnny. I'm sure I could get him back on the show. Good friends with. You ever hear of Jeffrey Garian, the comedian?
Maybe if I see his face.
Yeah, he's the comedian with the crazy hair. He knows everybody in the business, and he's got an interesting. He's got an interesting story because he started as a dentist and he became a comedian, and he knows a lot of people.
Okay.
And like Sal said, he just showed up places because he just knew they were going to be there. He showed up at NBC without being invited,
Oh wow.
and that's how he got his start.
You know where I showed up? You ever hear of Jeff Zucker? He's at NBC. He's like the president of NBC. I went to his office. I don't even know how I got in there. It's like, who are you? I started dropping some names of people that I know that he worked with. But I did get to talk to them, but I was pushing the show called Life Together. Do you remember the show I did, Life Together?
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali and all that. And it was a great show. And I figured, this is good. Let me get it out there. But they don't accept unsolicited material, just like record companies years ago, right, Gene? The music, they don't solicit. They don't accept unsolicited material. It's got to be presented by a manager or a lawyer. Right. So I was up there, and I'm not a manager or a lawyer, so they wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But wow. It's been a great show. What time we got? We got
three more minutes.
We got like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so guys, everybody just collaborate because it's great that, Michael, you have a great background. Gene's got a good background. I know Sal's got a good background.
Oh, yeah. Sal's amazing.
Yeah, it looks good. Don't it back there? Look. Matter of fact.
I did a lot of acting too, and I did a lot of things. So there's a good collaboration here. So everybody just hook up with everybody, give each other your information, help each other out. I love that everybody's just, can talk, and I love the background. It's just, your background's great, Michael. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. It was great.
We enjoyed it very much, Michael. We enjoyed the reminiscing, the memories, and all the other things that you brought to the show tonight.
Yeah.
And Sal always brings whatever he brings, but it's always amazing as well. So,
well, like I said, it's like a lot of times we always say right before the show, what are we going to talk about? What's the topic? I said, we're going to talk about a lot of things, and it's the best way to be just natural. Come on the show, and it always ends up being the best show than planning things.
No, it is. That is good. No script, unscripted, and it's just natural, which I like. And
natural, just like the acting. Natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Comes out better. Instead of us coming on the show saying, well, Michael, right? Michael Alberwaite. They try to be cool and they forget the person's name. Michael Wright? Oh, no. Michael Alberwaite. So it's better to just come on natural, talk all kind of stuff, move the hands around, look like this is what I do when I'm a background expert. They have to, I worked on a movie called what's it called? I haven't had The Edge. I've just played a bartender. I didn't speak, so I'm in the background moving my hands around. And they actually have stopped filming because the director said, "Please tell the bartender to settle down. He's still on the show. We can't concentrate on the front of it. He's making too much movements in the back."
Flies.
I used to do that on ours all the time too. Just stop right.
This is a great podcast, guys.
Yes, and it wasn't Mike a great. I thought of Mike. I said, "Well, let's do our first show." I said, and Gene and Fran said, "Who are you gonna get?" I said, "Mike was the first person to come to my head." Am I right? Am I telling the truth?
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah,
Brother Mike, because we always hook each other up when you got something going on and I got something going on. Well,
yeah.
what time is it now?
Well, we gotta go. We gotta go. So, Michael,
All right.
again, you're keep in touch with Sal, Fran, and I. We're all friends on Facebook, I believe. And any new projects you got, let's help promote it. Anything you got going on, let's help promote it on our pages. And we'll just, we'll do what we got to do. We'll make it work for each one of us. But bring anybody you want on the show. It's Sal's show. So the mayor tells you.
Mike, and if you want to do a show with Sean Young or Johnny Russo, you could also be on it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't have to be on the show with us. It could be
Correct.
me, you, Fran, Gene, and also John Russo.
See?
Okay.
We'll look
I'll
like
give
the
him a
Brady
call.
Bunch, all the bitches.
The Brady Bunch.
Absolutely.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you all next week.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.